Well, this show was pretty mediocre, wasn't it? Yes, mediocre, the new Shrek drink. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown, and no, it wasn't very good. Like, Smackdown for the past few weeks has kind of just slid down more into mediocrity, and I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I don't expect landmark shows every single week, but they really didn't even try here. It's not even that the talents weren't trying. Whoever was, putting this shit together just was like, okay, go out and talk for the first 30 minutes, guys, because nobody's really going to care about this shit, and then let's just have a bunch of random matches, a decent cage match, but by that point, everybody that's interested will be just in a goddamn haze, because this show is in the dog days till Fastlane, and then we're on the chode to WrestleMania. So, one thing I want to complain about, no graphic tribute for Jim Crockett Jr. I don't get why, because Vince has taken numerous people back that he's had grudges with, and he just couldn't do a little graphic tribute for Jim Crockett Jr., who did a lot for wrestling in the 70s and 80s, and, was the only healthy competition that Vince McMahon had in the late 80s until, it got sold to WCW and all that, but, yeah, Vince McMahon tends to hold grudges for absolutely no reason, and I just don't fucking get it. They could have at least done a graphic. Do a little something on YouTube or something. The man meant a lot to wrestling. Okay, so I got one question. Why the hell is Michael Cole in the ring? Why is he still on camera? Michael Cole is so bad at his job, so catastrophically, epically bad, that he takes away from any big moment that he's calling because he's so bad on commentary. And one day he's going to be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame, which is already not that legitimate anyways, and that's just going to finish up any legitimacy that the Hall of Fame has. If you're a fan of Michael Cole, fine. I don't get how he can be the good voice of a generation because he's so fucking bad at his job. He's really, really bad. I can't stand hearing him. If I could pay a premium on Fox to get an alternate commentary line, or just find a way to maybe get the ring noise without commentary, because him and Corey Graves aren't very good, I would pay that. And I think a lot of other people would too, because Michael Cole, again, is really bad at his job. So, he brings out Daniel Bryan. Oh, he may be the creator or the inventor of the Yes Movement. Yes, he is. Because the Yes Movement wasn't around before Daniel Bryan. Sure, there were baby faces that were cheered before, but he actually had the Yes chant. So he created something called the Yes Movement, you goddamn cockweasel. Anyway, Daniel Bryan has a package that he wants to throw, to the truck and basically just say, here, let's just have this package appear. And also he said, Edge versus Roman Reigns, Attitude Era versus the Thunderdome. How does that work? How does that work? I know Edge competed in the Attitude Era, but what? That doesn't make any sense. Bryan talks about loving wrestling and, just loving what he does and everything. It should have been me, Ziggler. What the hell are you doing here? Ziggler, thankfully, was not on the show. This was not a very good promo from Bryan, which is weird because he's been knocking it out of the park lately. This just wasn't, I don't know what this was. Just something was not quite firing with him. I mean, he's going to be checked out of wrestling pretty soon. He's going to be helping behind the scenes like he's been doing. You can tell because some people have been getting pushed that Vince McMahon would have never pushed in his goddamn life. And here's Reigns and Jay and Heyman, the J-Man, if you will, and then we go to break. And then we come back to just the pyro finishing off. The show was not well timed. It was not well paced, put together, whatever the fuck you really want to say. Reigns says, you don't love this. You need this. That's not love. Jay then gets in Roman Reigns' face because they're going to have a cage match for a number one contenders match because they had the count-out victory recently. And look, I don't mind stretching stuff out and trying to build a story where Bryan is going to try to get one more run with glory by beating Roman Reigns and having to fight through everything to get a shot at Fastlane. That's cool. I don't mind that. Yes, we're getting Roman Reigns versus Edge at WrestleMania. Bryan's probably going to, I don't know who the hell he's going to face unless you suddenly decide to have Cesaro and Bryan versus, say, Rollins and Murphy, because it seems like they're going to kind of do something like that. I don't know where Bryan's going to fit in since he's not going to be in the championship picture. It was what it was. This wasn't a great opening talking segment because it took forever. And then we have the Street Profits coming down, and Corbin is talking to Sammy because he says, I don't like you, Sammy. I want a singles match instead. I never want to hear the Street Profits talk again after some of the promos they cut. I hated the shit they did with the Viking Raider experience. And, I mean, best wishes, and I hope that they recover from their respective injuries. But, seriously, I don't want to hear from the Street Profits again. They just aren't for me. If they're for you, if you guys find them entertaining, fantastic. They bore me. They annoy me. And they're great athletes. But they annoy me. Their shtick is the same old shit. We want the smoke. What does that fucking mean? Corbin versus Montez Ford. Okay, it was fine. It was fine, I guess. And end of days for 3. Zayn helped, kind of get a little distraction thing, so Montez got pinned. All right, makes sense, because Zayn wants help from Corbin. Angelo Dawkins blasting Zayn off the apron. Have fun on seeing that. Corbin gets upset because Zayn collides with him, and then he says, no, I'm going to leave. And then Zayn is facing Angelo Dawkins. Cole says, maybe Sammy has a point with these conspiracy theories. And then instantly, knocks that right afterwards. Cole, why are you here? Why are you here to do this stuff? Do you have brain parasites that are competing for, equal brain power, what little brain power you have left, maybe 1% since 2006? Do you have, dueling brain parasites that basically are keeping you alive? That's the only reason why he would do shit like this. Once again, Michael Cole is really bad at his job. So, the dreaded roll-up, the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling. Surprise roll-up, 1, 2, 3. And then Sammy needs a camera guy in the groin and doesn't understand who the hell he is. And then Carmella fires Reginald, her Somalian. I kept calling him that. I know it's Sommelier, but you know what? It kept sounding like Somalian, so that's what I'm going to say. I don't know what the end game for this story is. Actually, I have a pretty good idea, and I don't really like it. But hey, if it gets Mella off of TV because she's terrible, absolutely fucking terrible, then I'm all for it. So, Chad Gable with Otis versus Dominic with Ray. Dominic's here, throw the show in the bin. It's not that he's bad in the ring, he bores me. I didn't like the show, can you tell? Chad has new music. Match was fine. Oh, look, another dreaded roll-up, surprise roll-up, 1, 2, 3. Why do you hit finishers? Why not just hit the roll-up? Seriously, the surprise roll-up, it's not even just here. It's in New Japan, it's in AEW. I don't mind seeing it on indie shows, even though I've called it out before. I mean, just for fun, but seriously, the dreaded roll-up, nobody can kick out of it. It's like everybody's got goddamn lead in their freaking shoulders and they're held down. So, Otis and Ray brawl, and Ray headbutts the camera, right at eye level, so that cameraman must have been a child. And then Rollins is talking, and Murphy shows up. He wants to get back together with him. Rollins like, you get out of my sight. Okay? I'm glad they dropped the Murphy-Aaliyah storyline that they never should have started in the first place. Nothing against Murphy splitting from Rollins. I just don't understand why you would split him from Rollins and then have them reform. Please do not revisit this Rollins and Ray storyline that we didn't need to see go on forever. Eye for an eye match. God damn it. Shayna, with Nia's superior immune system and really bad ACLs, took on Bianca with Sasha and Reginald. Hey, they let them wrestle for a bit, and then everything got a little bit weird because after arm focus by Shayna, some good power by Bianca, Reginald sees Bianca. He's kind of laughing because Bianca got tossed outside. Then she shoves him. He tumbles into Nia, and it gets worse because Nia then runs into Sasha. He's checking on her. Despite all this, KOD 1, 2, 3. So Shayna avenges the loss that she had against Shayna at TakeOver Phoenix, which was 2 years and 2 months ago. That's how long ago that was. It's hard to believe the takeovers actually used to be pretty good, and now they're just hit and miss. But okay, Shayna avenges, Bianca avenges the loss she had, against Shayna 2 years prior. Cool. I remember when Shayna felt like she was kind of important. I mean, biting into Becky's neck notwithstanding. So Sasha then slaps Reginald. I mean, that was a really hard slap, too. That really was. And then Jay and Roman talking backstage, and Roman says, well, if you lose, you'll embarrass our family. Don't embarrass our family. And then Cesaro takes on Murphy, while Rollins is on commentary. Instantly, Rollins' jacket is better than Michael Cole on commentary. Not that that's hard to do. No commentary is better than Michael Cole on commentary. This is practically the I Hate Michael Cole review, because I do. I don't hate him as a person so much that I want anything bad to happen to the guy. I hate the mere fact that he exists on a wrestling program that is way better at its worst than he ever was at his best. Cole called the finish before it happened. He called the finish before it happened. Just stop. Just mute the commentary. Fox needs to mandate no commentary. Seriously, people can pick up on this shit. God damn it. Reginald's then going to leave. He tries to get Sasha to forgive him or something like that. She says no, slams the door in his face. Shayna says to Nia, oh, he reeks of failure. Nia about Reginald, he's kind of cute. No, don't you fucking do this. No. It was bad enough when they implied it with, Nia and Enzo. Please do not bring Enzo and Cass back, by the way. Don't fucking bring them back. Let them do whatever they're doing. Let them go to Impact. Don't let them go to AEW. Just let them go somewhere. Do not, bury Reginald with a terrible love interest storyline. It's one thing if he likes Sasha, because Sasha at least has personality. Nia doesn't have anything, good to offer to wrestling, or really anything good to offer to any form of entertainment, unless you want to laugh at the fact that she's yelling about her hole. And that joke got really old really quickly. Don't you goddamn do this. Anyway, Apollo has his own Zambui Express. Where is Ray Candy when you need him? That's seriously who they reminded me of. This is actually Apollo's best promo. I don't know where they're going with this. I, am glad that he's invested in this. I do have one question about this, though. Now that he's doing this accent, when is he going to hang out James McAvoy by his nipples from Hooks? And if you know, God damn, that movie was gross. It was great. It was also gross. And Forrest Whitaker should have gotten a goddamn Oscar for that. And then for every other movie, no, I'm kidding. Forrest Whitaker was great in that, though. Last King of Scotland. So, it was good stuff, though. I look forward to them hopefully not pulling the plug on this in the next few weeks. Keep this going. Apollo beating Big E would actually be really nice. Have him beat him at WrestleMania. You can make this go for a while. Apollo gets his big moment, carries it till SummerSlam, or maybe even Hell in a Cell, or whatever the October pay-per-view is. I'd say bring back Halloween Havoc and eliminate Hell in a Cell, and just do something good with Apollo. He's got the ability to do this, but if you pull the rug out from under him, he's not going to be able to do anything. Natty and Tamina won a tag title shot, and that scene pretty much died out right there because they really didn't keep the camera on them that long. I like Natty, and I hope she can do something good. Brian catches Jay unaware and beats him up a little bit. And then Ding Dong Hello with sweet tweets. Oh boy, sweet tweets about Bayley. I'm just going to not even think about the amount of fanfic that can be written about that. I don't know what this was, and it didn't last very long. What would Corey Graves know about competing in steel cage matches? This is a genuine question because I don't recall him ever competing in one. And he talked about a brave cameraman up top, and some people thought it would actually be Jimmy Uso, and it wasn't. Bryan versus Jey Uso steel cage match. Reigns and Heyman show up at ringside. Jey mashes Bryan's head into the cage wall. Bryan focuses on the arm. That comes into play later. Samoan drop off the top and break. That was actually a pretty good spot. And back, and they're on the top, battling on the cage and everything. 1-2, 1-2. They did a weird super kick spot and then a splash off the ropes, which was actually kind of invented, not just from the corner, but from the ropes. And then battle on the cage, and then suddenly, a counter into the S-lock. Rope breaks don't work. Daniel Bryan gets the victory, and that's pretty much it. This is the first time I'm doing this with my notes from Smackdown for a while. It just wasn't very good. It really wasn't. And once again, Michael Cole is really bad at his job. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.